Good day, here are today's top stories from the Pna Headlines. Weather Bureau Pag-asa is now monitoring 2 tropical cyclones after a previous low-pressure area developed into a tropical depression. The new tropical depression, which was named Emong, was spotted 115 kilometers west-northwest of Lawag City with maximum sustained winds of 45 kilometers per hour and gustiness of up to 55 kilometers per hour. Emong is moving west-southwestward at 35 kilometers per hour. Heavy rains at 50 to 100 millimeters are expected today over Cagayan, Ilocos Norte, Ilocos Sur, Abra, Kalinga, and Apayao. Tropical cyclone wind signal number 1 was raised over Ilocos Norte, the western portion of Ilocos Sur, the northwestern portion of La Union, and the western portion of Pangasinan. As of 11 a.m. today, Tropical Depression Dante has intensified into a tropical storm, packing maximum sustained winds of 65 kilometers per hour and gustiness of up to 80 kilometers per hour. Dante was last spotted 900 kilometers east of extreme northern Luzon and is moving north-northwestward at 15 kilometers per hour. Pag-asa said Dante is not directly affecting any part of the country, but it is enhancing the southwest monsoon. It is forecast to move generally northwestward over the Philippine Sea and exit PAR or the Philippine Area of Responsibility in the afternoon or evening on Thursday, July 24. No tropical cyclone warning signals have been raised. Meanwhile, another low-pressure area has been spotted 2,340 kilometers east of eastern Visayas or outside the Philippine Area of Responsibility. The Department of Health, or DOH, has deployed 31 million pesos worth of emergency medicines and supplies to regions affected by floods and heavy rains. In the Presidential Communication Office's virtual press briefing on Tuesday, the DOH said it distributed medicines for evacuees such as antibiotics for infections, fever and pain relief medicines, skin ointments, Lagundi-based cough and cold medicines, and oral rehydration salts to treat diarrhea. It also pre-positioned hygiene kits, breastfeeding kits, drinking water containers, and chlorine tablets. DOH spokesperson Albert Domingo said these supplies are being used across Ilocos, Cagayan Valley, Mimaropa, Western Visayas, Central Visayas, and Northern Mindanao. The department also prepared 180 million pesos worth of additional emergency supplies for standby. Meanwhile, the Department of Energy, or DOE, has ordered to prioritize power restoration and maintenance in hospitals and evacuation centers, especially those vulnerable to severe flooding. Energy Secretary Sharon Garin on Tuesday directed Meralco to help ensure power supply, particularly in San Lorenzo Ruiz General Hospital in Malabon, Tondo Medical Center in Manila, Valenzuela Medical Center, and Amang Rodriguez Memorial Medical Center in Marikina. Meralco will also help provide power to the Roman Tantiongco Memorial Elementary School in Morong, Rizal, and Evacuation Center, which needed a generator set. Meanwhile, the Toll Regulatory Board was directed to ensure the unhampered delivery of fuel supplies from the storage facilities in Subic, Zambales, and Bataan. The National Electrification Administration is also closely monitoring areas affected by the weather disturbances. President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. earlier directed all agencies to prepare for all aspects of emergency response this rainy season. The Department of Transportation, or DOTr, announced today, July 23, that it continues to offer free rides to commuters who were trapped by the floods caused by the southwest monsoon. The DOTr, together with the Philippine Ports Authority and Philippine Coast Guard, will deploy buses and trucks to ferry passengers along 5 selected routes. These are Quiapo to Fairview, Quiapo to Angono, Legarda to Angono, Loton to Alabang, and Rojas Boulevard to Sucat. The first Libreng Sakay batch was deployed this morning from 7 to 10 a.m. Commuters may catch the second batch from 5 to 8 p.m. The DOTr said this is in compliance to President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr.'s directive to ensure the safety of commuters amid the weather disturbance. In other news, the tariff on the Philippine exports to the United States was reduced from 20 to 19% following the official visit of President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. at the White House. Part of the new deal of both countries include granting zero tariffs for American products entering the Philippines. In his Truth Social account post, U.S. President Donald Trump said that President Marcos is a very good and tough negotiator. Latest data from the Philippine Statistics Authority revealed that the U.S. comprised the highest export value amounting to $1.115 billion or 15.3% of the country's total exports in May this year. President Marcos is the first Southeast Asian leader to meet with Trump during his second term as U.S. president. Meanwhile, Trump emphasized the strategic importance of the proposed ammunition manufacturing facility in Subic, Zambales, as it will boost Philippine defense capabilities and U.S. military readiness. The proposed joint project is part of a broader U.S.-Philippines defense cooperation agenda under Enhanced Defense Cooperation Agreement or EDCA amid rising tensions in the South China Sea and the wider Indo-Pacific region. The U.S. House Committee on Appropriations ordered its Department of Defense, State Department, and the International Development Finance Corporation to assess the feasibility of the facility in Subic Bay. The proposed ammunition manufacturing facility will be set to establish in Subic Bay Freeport Zone. In our business news, the Manila Electric Company, or Meralco, advised its customers to implement safety measures as flooding continues to hinder immediate power restoration in its franchise areas. In a statement, the power distributor said it has reduced the number of power outage-affected customers to around 29,000 as of 6 p.m. on Tuesday from over 167,000 as of 7 a.m. Meralco added that nearly half of the remaining affected customers are in flooded areas in Metro Manila, Cavite, and Bulacan, while others are in Laguna, Rizal, Batangas, and Quezon provinces. High-bed trucks and motorized fiberglass have been deployed to assist in power restoration and rescue operations. Meralco Vice President and Head of Corporate Communications Joe Zaldarriaga said they will continue to restore electricity to all affected customers. Together with the Department of Energy, he encouraged the public to exercise safety precautions such as switching off the circuit breakers, unplugging appliances from sockets, and ensuring that all electrical wires and connectors are kept dry. Meanwhile, the Department of Agrarian Reform, or DOTr, and the Department of Education, or DepEd, have partnered to sustain school-based feeding programs while patronizing products made by Agrarian Reform beneficiaries, or ARBS. DOTr and DepEd Lawag officials signed a Memorandum of Understanding at the Schools Division Office Mini Conference Hall on Monday to formalize the said partnership. Chief Agrarian Reform Program Officer Romel Aquino said the Partnership Against Hunger and Poverty project offers benefits such as linking consumers and producers and providing learners with nutritious food and farmers with a stable market for their produce. The DOTr will facilitate the linking of ARBs that will supply food needed for the feeding program with DepEd authorities. The Philippine Carabao Center, on the other hand, has also expressed support for the program by providing high-quality milk to learners coming from local dairy farmers in the province. As part of its efforts to empower farmers, associations, and cooperatives, DOTr, together with other government agencies, has been helping out in the development, packaging, and linking of local products to feeding programs of children to help address malnutrition. And those are the latest and the biggest stories from the PNA headlines. For more news updates, visit our website pna.gov.ph or our Facebook and X account, Philippine News Agency. You may also watch the PNA headlines through the Philippine News Agency's YouTube account and via the News and Information Bureau website under PNA News. I am William Theo. This is the PNA headlines, bringing you stories that unite the nation.